Next on the agenda is our governor's roundtable, followed by feedback. Anybody like to start? Governor Sayani. You want to go last? Of course you do. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Does the president get to speak at the because I got something to say. No, I actually just want to say everyone got their assignments for their committees and liaisonships and what have you. And I really am hoping, I know how hard it is to make all the meetings and all the committee liaisons. I know it because I did it for 5 years, just like you do. And everyone else, we have lives, we have families and practices um, but what I would ask is that for the affinity bar associations, if you are a liaison, please make every effort. You don't have to go to every meeting, but try to reach out to leadership. Try to keep a connection because your role as the liaison, whether it's to an affinity bar association or to a committee or a council, is that really, one of your functions is to be an ambassador on behalf of this board, to be able to bring information to the entities and the groups and let them know what it is that we at the board are doing. And also to get feedback back from them that you can bring back to the board. This doesn't really mean that you have to be on top of every meeting, but I would ask that folks try to make a connection with leadership of whatever entity you're at and try as much as you can to sort of keep that connection going. For the affinity bar associations, it's going to become particularly important because our DEI plan is about to be rolled out. And so we do want to get feedback, not just from the affinity bar associations, but also the committees and councils. So I'm asking you to please be ambassadors for our plan and for our association. And I really appreciate all of you. That's it for me. Jordan. And then Kevin.
Yeah, I just wanted to share the first installment of Jordan's book club. Because I was talking to Justice Gonzalez at a book last night, and I realized I kind of think it should be required reading for all lawyers these days. Her Honor by Ladoris Hazard Cordell. It's kind of biography, but really it is a textbook on the problems we have in our judicial system and how we can fix them. And I would highly recommend everyone pick up a copy of that book and read it.
Okay, can you say the author's name again?
Yeah, and I'll put it in the chat. Ladoris
Okay,
Hazard Cordell.
wonderful. Oh, and next, Kevin.
Thank you, Madam Potentate.
Mhm.
I have two things to bring up. I am now at the point where I have to report my CLE. When I was in private practice, this was never a problem because I was program chair for the Corporate Counsel Institute every other year, spoke a lot on panels with the American Institute, with the Association of Corporate Counsel. Now I'm just some schlump getting CLE and I'm behind. So I've been taking a lot of free CLE courses, some offered by LexisNexis, some offered by WISBA. And I took one actually just a couple of weeks ago, Cultivating a Thriving Profession, Insights from Our Membership Demographic Study, which was given by Diane Singleton, and used the same slide deck that we saw today in the discussion of the demographic study. My suggestion is, why don't we give all of us an hour credit for what I got an hour credit for 2 weeks ago. Now, I probably can't get the same credit twice, so this is truly altruistic of me. Okay. Now, as part of my ambassadoring, I was on the phone with the executive committee of the business law section, and the question came up about the alcohol policy again. There are some sections who think it would be a really nice thing to be able to use their money to buy a couple drinks for and try to yeah, what's the word? Entice new members into the boat of their section. It's not a very important issue, to be sure, but it is something that certain sections would like. And I don't think there's any downside to restoring the policy as it was before the unfortunate events of a few years ago. And I would like to put that on the table in the agenda and not take a great deal of time, but we should, I'll move at some point that we restore the policy to the one that had worked so well for so long. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Kevin. Anybody else? Todd.
Yeah, I had been put in touch with a member, I believe from Governor Wynn, with a question about dues for military members. And as I understand, the situation is active duty military personnel who are lawyers and who are members of the bar. And the question was, do we have a policy, which we don't, I think was the question, about dues waiver or dues reduced license fee. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. And so I don't believe that it ever has. I mean, as an active duty member of the military, I paid my dues or bar dues every year religiously. Louisiana did not have a policy at the time. I was not a member of the Washington bar. I don't believe there's a policy. I don't know if we look at other states. I don't know if other states do or not, but the question's been posed. I had neglected to follow up on it, and just wanted to kind of raise this as a potential issue. I don't know if maybe we could potentially staff this with budget and audit committee, or I don't know what the member engagement or whatever, how that would go. But potentially, I think it would be worthwhile at least kind of looking at what do other bars do, and if there's a potential recommendation that we could make an adjustment for discounted fees or something of that nature. But just wanted to kind of raise that to the cognizance of fellow governors and to the leadership, so that we could be thinking about that potentially. Thank you.
I think Hanata might have some information.
The WISBA bylaws provide for armed forces exemption. So the member has to be activated from the reserve to full-time active status in the armed forces for more than 60 days in the calendar year. And then they provide information, and it goes to the ED, and there's a process for that, and it can provide additional information if you want.
But that's if they're called out of the reserve, right? If they were just a member, then they would be.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom.
Two quick things. One, you can ignore because I don't drink. In response to Kevin's point, when it does come up, I would request a legal analysis because I'm scared to death of liability if we're funding drinks that then end up killing someone in an accident or something, number one. Number two, the other thing you can ignore me on is, since I do a lot of insurance coverage work and semantics is really important. You've noticed I focus on words. Insurance policy covers a glass that's half empty, but not one that's half full. I like the idea. The first term I heard was when you talked about the liaisons being the ambassador. I think that really captures what the liaison is supposed to be. So I would suggest we at least think about changing the term to ambassador to these groups.
I like it.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Madame Sayani.
Okay, so my swan song.
Yeah.
This will be the last rambly speech I give here. So I've been most excited about this meeting for this moment. Not because this would be the end, but an opportunity for me to express my gratitude and to say thank you to everybody in this room and those governors who have been in this room with me before and are no longer governors, and the staff members that are here and are not here today, that I've worked with over the years. I've said this a couple times. I don't think I'm going to miss the meetings, but I will miss the people. And for me, that's part of who I am as a person, is making connections and meeting people and building relationships. And I'm truly, truly grateful and truly, truly thankful for being able to make such great connections and meet such wonderful people and see all the hard work that everybody's doing in this room, inside and out of this room. I know how much hard work everybody in this room puts into what they do for the bar and for the members of our profession. And regardless of how we may disagree on points that come up, it's wonderful to know that people are passionate about what they're doing and well thought out. So I'm grateful for all the things I've learned from everybody in this room and their perspectives. And I hope that I was able to provide some perspective on issues over the years. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Surprisingly, I will miss you all. It's been wonderful, such a great experience. And yeah, I'll be thinking of you when I know there's a meeting and I'm not there and I can't crack jokes for you to actually have a good time and laugh. So miss you all. Thank you so much. Special shout out to Tara. You've been awesome from the first day that I met you at a restaurant before I'd even joined the board, or technically when I was on the board, but hadn't been sworn in yet, and meeting you and just the warmth that you showed me and kind of gave me the guidance of what I needed to be here, and always just kind of supporting me and encouraging me throughout the way. And then of course, to my mentor, Sunitha, who, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be here. And for the fact that on the day that my application was due, hounded me about 3 times that day. And I threw some materials together, and lucky for her, the person who was running against me decided to drop out. So here I am. But I really do thank you for pushing me to do this and giving me this opportunity and experience, and just having you as a mentor and a guide. It's no doubt that I chose a really great mentor for, you being the first South Asian president of the bar in the entire country. And as one South Asian to another, it's really proud to be able to stand in the same room as you. You're an amazing person, and can't wait to continue our relationship going forward. So thank you so much.
Love
And
you, Serena.
that's it before I start crying. Thank you, everyone.
Love you, Serena. Aw. Oh, feedback. Oh, adjourn. Feedback, and then we get to adjourn.
Any meeting?
Any meeting feedback?
You can also save it for the survey, but
Okay. So you're not alone in that. But duly noted. All right. Nothing else for the good of the order. We shall adjourn. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your weekend.